Walk the floor of any thrift store on a weekday morning, and you will find them phones up, scanning barcodes, hunting for the flip that funds a full-time life. The haul videos make it look inevitable: buy low, sell high, quit your job. But the platforms keep receipts. The average United States eBay seller pulls in roughly $445 a month in revenue, not profit, revenue, before a single fee is taken out. So the real question isn't whether you can make money reselling. It's whether you can make a living. We audited going full-time as a reseller. First, define the target. Full-time reselling doesn't mean a viral haul or one lucky designer find. It means replacing a salary, reliably, month after month, net of every cost. And the people doing it are not casual. The data splits cleanly by hours. Casual resellers working 5 to 10 hours a week typically take home $200 to $800 a month, a side income, nothing more. Part-timers at 15 to 25 hours land somewhere between $1,000 and $3,500. The full-timers, the ones who actually replace a paycheck, are working 40 hours or more every week, and they report $4,000 to $15,000 a month. Notice what that means. Full-time reselling income tracks almost perfectly with full-time hours. This is not passive money found on a thrift rack. It is a labor business, and the wage is set by how many quality items you can source, list, and ship in a week. Now the shape of the earnings, because an average hides everything that matters. Pull the seller distribution apart, and it looks less like a career ladder and more like a pyramid with a very sharp point. The top 1% of eBay sellers average around $11,600 a month in revenue. The top 5% average just under $4,000. But the typical seller, the broad middle and bottom, sits down near that $400 figure. The headline incomes everyone screenshots come from the thin tip of the pyramid, and almost always from sellers who source at volume and operate like a warehouse, not a hobby. The closer you look, the clearer it gets. Reselling pays a real full-time wage to a small minority who treat it as a full-time operation and pocket money to everyone else. Here's where revenue and income split apart, and it is brutal. Reselling has a fee stack that quietly eats the middle of every sale. On eBay, expect to lose around 13% of the total sale to final value fees, including the cut they take on shipping. On Poshmark, the bite is steeper, 20% flat on anything $15 and up, and almost $3 on smaller sales. Then layer on what the marketing never shows: the cost of the item itself, the shipping supplies, the mileage to source it, and the platform's promoted listing fees if you want to actually be seen. Run a real example. You flip an item for $40 and feel like you cleared a $30 profit. After fees, shipping, and the cost of goods, that $30 often shrinks to $12 to $18 in your hand. The sticker price is theater. The take-home is the audit. Now put a clock on it, because reselling sells you on margin and quietly charges you in time. Take a single clothing flip, a pair of jeans, say. By the time you have driven to source it, inspected it, washed it, photographed it, written the listing, answered buyer questions, packed it, and walked it to the post office, you have spent roughly 30 minutes of real work on that one item, end to end. So do the arithmetic honestly. If you want to earn $20 an hour for your time, any flip that nets less than about $13 after every cost is actually losing you money once your labor is priced in. That single test quietly disqualifies a huge share of the items people excitedly buy. The low-dollar thrift finds that fill haul videos. The $4 shirt that sells for $14 look like wins on camera. Priced against your half hour of labor, most of them are a slow way to work below minimum wage. Even a good margin item only pays you if it actually sells, which brings us to the number experienced resellers obsess over and beginners never track: sell-through rate. Sell-through is simply the share of listed items that move in a given window, and it is the difference between a business and a storage unit. The benchmarks are unforgiving. Items with a sell-through above 50% are the sweet spot. They clear within a few weeks and keep your cash recycling into new inventory. Drop into the 20 to 50% band and items can sit for months. Below 20%, you are in the danger zone. One veteran framed it bluntly: a 2% sell-through means a 98% chance your item does not sell within 3 months. That is the trap that kills most reseller dreams. It is not that beginners lose money on each sale. It is that they tie up their cash, their shelves, and their weekends in inventory that never moves, a closet full of items that felt like profit and behaved like clutter. Get back to the platform that runs the cleanest experiment on all of this: Amazon. where resellers fund retail arbitrage and the attrition is measured. The pattern is stark, and it is the same pattern every reseller eventually meets. In the first 6 months, only about 18% of new sellers turn a profit at all. Roughly 40% quit before month 6 even arrives. More than 1 in 5 never become profitable, full stop. But trace the survivors forward, and the picture changes. A clear majority who push past the first year do become profitable, and the established operators running a few steady product lines report net incomes in the range of $38,000 to $55,000 a year. So the curve is not flat, it is a wall. The wall sits at roughly the 6 to 12-month mark, built out of fees, dead inventory, and the grind of the labor. Most people hit that wall and stop. The few who climb it find a real, if modest, full-time income waiting on the other side. So, can you really go full-time reselling? The honest, data-backed answer is yes, but it is a job, not a loophole. The people who make a living at it are not finding magic flips on a thrift rack. They are running a lean, high-volume operation, 40-plus hours a week, ruthless about sell-through, pricing their own labor at every buy, cross-listing across platforms to move inventory faster, and treating the fee stack as a fixed cost they design around rather than discover at checkout. That is a real path, and a real wage waits at the end of it, usually a middle-class income, rarely a fortune. But if your plan is the haul video version, casual sourcing, low-dollar fines, no sell-through discipline, no clock on your time, the numbers say you have bought yourself a slow, expensive hobby that feels like a business. And the single sharpest filter is this one question, the one every full-timer learns to ask before they buy. Not how much can I sell this for, but how fast will it sell? And what is my hour worth while I wait? Hobbyists price the item. Professionals price their time. That is the entire difference.